How do you follow up after your webinar and make more sales? More than 50% of webinar sales come after you perform the original webinar in your follow-up sequence, and that's what I'm going to show you how to do in today's video. Before we jump into it, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so you never miss a video that will make you more money. You can also grab my free course on webinars in the description below. All right, let's jump into it. So I want you to imagine for a second that you signed up for a webinar or you went to a training. Right? This doesn't have to be a live webinar. This could be a auto webinar or a video sales letter. You entered your email and you start watching the training, but something happens. Facebook happens, your kid needs something, maybe, I don't know, maybe you're running late and you need to run out the door, dinner's ready, you get hungry, whatever, you fall off the webinar. This happens despite our best efforts to keep people engaged and keep people going. After the webinar, more than 50% of the sales are made. And as somebody who's running a webinar, you have to make sure that you have all the different follow-up sequences in place. This is something different than just email. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 different things that you can do to follow up with people to make more sales after your webinar is done. Number 1 is that when people opt in, you should have the option to grab their phone number so that you can text them. Do not make this mandatory, make it optional. We have seen more than 50% of people enter their phone number. This allows you to do 2 things. The first one is it allows you to text them to let them know that the webinar is going live. If it's an auto webinar or a video sales letter, all you have to do is say, would you like this delivered to your phone, into your phone number? People will enter their phone number and you can text them a link to the actual video sales page. But once we get to follow up, you can actually send them follow up directly to their phone. Now, you don't want to send as many as you would with your emails. You want to send 1, 2, maybe 3 total. So 1 each day in the cart sequence. So you want to send them up to maybe 3 or 4 text messages after they have come on and seen your webinar. You do this by just sending them a very short text. It's annoying if you send a really long text, but a short text. Hey Joe, I saw you were interested in learning XYZ. Get the top 3 tips here. You can send them 1 to the full webinar and then 1 to a testimonial case study that is in your webinar. The way you do that is you say, hey Joe, click here to see how Jill was able to use XYZ to get desired result. Right? You want to put that in the text message. Again, make it short. Do not make your text message super long. It won't get read. So that's how you can start to use text message. We have seen more than 50% of people give us their phone number, and then we've seen sales rise just from texting people to that, especially when you send them short, powerful text messages. And when your cart is closing, hey, this is the last time you're going to see this offer. Make sure you click here if you want to get it. Most of your sales are going to come at the end of your cart open sequence, which brings us to our second point, which is email. You need to be sending at least 8 emails from the time they opt in until the time the cart closes. That brings me to my second point, which is you should be using 8 emails at least. So between the time people opt in, whether it is live or a replay, to cart close, you want to send them at least 8 emails, 2 each day. I actually like to see 4 or 5 emails on the last day. And I know some of you might be a little bit resistant to that. But here's the thing. If people opt out of your sequence, it's not because you're annoying them. It's because they don't want the outcome that you're offering. Also, this doesn't mean that you have to write super long emails. When you're sending this many emails, the whole point is to get to the top of the person's inbox and send them something that is relatable to them. So you might mix your emails up. You want some long, some short, some driving to case studies that are embedded in your webinar, some that go to testimonials that are not in your webinar on a sales page, some that go to your entire webinar, and some that go to specific pieces of your webinar. You want to mix up the length because a lot of people are reading their emails on their phone. And when they're reading their emails on their phone, you don't want to send them a book because they're not going to be able to read it. Just short and sweet, 20 to 30 words that tell them a curiosity hook that is revealed in your webinar. Hey, you might not want to miss how Joe got X desired result in 30 days working with my program. His whole case study is here. Then when they click that link, it's going to take them to a place in the webinar. This is how you build a great webinar sequence. Most of your closes, again, are going to come the last day of cart open, usually in the last 2 to 3 hours. That's why I say send 5 emails on the last day. You want one in the morning, one mid-morning, one afternoon, one evening, and then one cart close. You want to constantly be at the top of their inbox, and you have to make sure that they know that they are going to miss out if they don't take action. Step number 3 is to have a follow-up Q&A after your webinar. If you're doing a live webinar or if you're doing a replay, replays work a little bit different. I'll walk you through both of them. For a live webinar, you want to have a live Q&A that is kind of like a sweeper. This is going to be 2 days after you did the webinar, 1 day before cart close. And you're going to say, hey, I'm doing a live Q&A on Zoom or on Facebook Live. I would love to answer your questions, because what this will do, if you followed any of my videos, you know about the maybe fence. Once you've made your offer, these people are sitting on a fence called the maybe fence, and they want the outcome, and they're paying attention to what you're saying, but they're not 100% sure that it's for them. By having a live Q&A, not only can you answer some of their questions live and drive them back to buying, but then you can also use this in your follow-up sequences to be like, man, we got some really good questions. List out the questions, as that builds curiosity and is in an open loop, and it will actually drive them back to buying from you. You can drive them back to the recording of the Q&A, you can drive them back to the webinar, or you can just drive them to the sales page. But this gives you more content and more open loops, which is what is key to getting people to buy from you. Method number 4 for follow-up is to use Facebook Messenger. So you can build a messenger group and you can put people in there. You can also use messenger bots, and you can say, hey, connect to me on Facebook Messenger. We're going to send you a few highlights and follow-ups. Now, the way Facebook uses bots has changed a lot in the last year, but you can still use them right when somebody opts in, and you have 24 hours before Facebook will take you off as of making this video. So in that 24-hour window, if they interact with you, you get another 24 hours. So you can use bots to send follow-ups specifically for a webinar. You can also drive them to the live Q&A call that we talked about in the last point and get people more involved with what you are doing. Now, number 5 comes after the cart close sequence. So after the cart close, people that haven't bought from you and people who have are still open to auxiliary offers. They know, like, and trust you. By this time, they've spent time with your webinar, they've opened up some of your follow-up emails, they've read some of your content. They know, like, and trust you. Figure out what you have in your marketplace that is a non-competing offer that is priced less, or it could be priced the same. Either one. I like doing a lesser priced offer, and it has to be an affiliate offer so that you get paid on it. You can do a webinar with somebody else, or you can just send them straight to a sales page if it's a low priced offer. This is a way to gain extra revenue. I did this with a $97 offer that somebody else had. I got paid 50% of the offer, so I made $50 for every sale. I usually have between 5 and 10 people take up that offer. That's adding an extra $1,000 that you can either run in ads, or you can use just to put it in your pocket. It's extra revenue that adds to the overall performance of your webinar. Do you think that I left something really important out of this, or do you have some questions? Make sure you put them in the comments below. I will look at them. I'll be happy to respond to you and answer any questions that you have. While you're down there, make sure you grab my free course. It comes with 5 videos and 5 worksheets to help you get your webinar off the ground. Also, if you know you need my help with your webinar, there are 2 links down there. One is a webinar breakdown where I will go through your webinar line by line, slide by slide, and give you video feedback on what you need to say to get more conversions now. Secondly, if you haven't built a webinar yet and you know you need to, there's a link down below where you can jump on a free strategy call with me where I will show you exactly what it would look like to work with me. We'll build your webinar from scratch. We'll build the presentation. We'll build the deck. I'll practice it back and forth with you to get your delivery perfect. We'll also build your funnel, your front-end lead magnet, and your follow-up email sequence from scratch so that you have everything that you need. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you never miss a video that will make you money. And take action, change lives, and make money. I will see you soon.